Menu. Search. Honey for the heart. Just another WordPress.com site. Tafseer of Surah Mujadilah Ayat 1-22 End. Surah Al-Mujadilah. The Pleading Woman. Chapter 58, which was revealed in Al-Madinah. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. 1. Indeed Allah has heard the statement of her that disputes with you concerning her husband, and complains to Allah. And Allah hears the argument between you both. Verily, Allah is all-hearer, all-seer. Reason for revealing this surah. Imam Ahmad recorded that Aisha said, "All praise be to Allah, who hears all voices." The woman who disputed, came to the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, and argued with him while I was in another part of the room, unable to hear what she said. Allah the Exalted and Most Honored revealed this ayah, indeed Allah has heard the statement of her that disputes with you concerning her husband. Ahmad 646 till the end of this ayah. Al-Bukhari collected this hadith without a chain of narration in the book of Tawhid in his Sahih. Fath al-Bari 13. 384 and Nasai, Ibn Majah, Ibn Abi Hatim and Ibn Jarir also collected this hadith. And Nasai 6. 168. In the narration that Ibn Abi Hatim collected, Aisha said, "Blessed is he, whose hearing has encompassed all things." I heard what Khala bint Thalaba said while some of it I could not hear. She was complaining to Allah's Messenger about her husband. She said, "O Allah's Messenger, he spent my wealth, exhausted my youth and my womb bore abundantly for him. When I became old, unable to bear children, he pronounced the zihar in me. O Allah, I complain to you." Soon after, Jibril brought down this ayah, indeed Allah has heard the statement of her that disputes with you concerning her husband. She added, her husband was Uz bin As-Samit. At-Tabari 23. 226. 2. Those among you who make their wives unlawful to them by zihar they cannot be their mothers. None can be their mothers except those who gave them birth. And verily, they utter an ill word and a lie. And verily, Allah is oft pardoning, oft forgiving. 3. And those who make unlawful to them their wives by zihar and wish to free themselves from what they uttered, the penalty in that case is the freeing of a slave before they touch each other. That is an admonition to you. And Allah is all aware of what you do. 4. And he who finds not, must fast 2 successive months before they both touch each other. And he who is unable to do so, should feed 60 of the poor. That is in order that you may have perfect faith in Allah and His Messenger. These are the limits set by Allah. And for disbelievers, there is a painful torment. As zihar and the atonement for it. Imam Ahmad recorded that Kuwayla bint Thalaba said, "By Allah, Allah sent down the beginning of Surah Al-Mujadilah in connection with me and Uz bin As-Samit. He was my husband and had grown old and difficult. One day, he came to me and I argued with him about something and he said, out of anger, 'You are like my mother's back to me.' He went out and sat with some of his people. Then he came back and wanted to have sexual intercourse with me. I said, 'No, by the one in whose hand is the soul of Kuwayla. You will not have your way with me after you said what you said, until Allah and His Messenger issue judgment about our case.' He wanted to have his way regardless of my choice and I pushed him away from me. He was an old man. I next went to one of my neighbors and borrowed a garment from her and went to the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. I told him what happened and kept complaining to him of the ill treatment I received from Uz. He said, 'O Kuwayla, your cousin is an old man, so have taqwa of Allah regarding him.' By Allah, before I departed, parts of the Quran were revealed about me. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, felt the hardship upon receiving the revelation as he usually did and then became relieved. He said to me, 'O Kuwayla, Allah has revealed something about you and your spouse.' He recited to me, 'Indeed Allah has heard the statement of her that disputes with you concerning her husband, and complains to Allah. And Allah hears the argument between you both. Verily, Allah is all-hearer, all-seer. Until, and for disbelievers, there is a painful torment.' He then said to me, 'Command him to free a slave.' I said, 'O Allah's Messenger, he does not have any to free.' He said, 'Let him fast for 2 consecutive months.' I said, 'By Allah, he is an old man and cannot fast.' He said, 'Let him feed 60 poor people a wask camel load of dates.' I said, 'O Allah's Messenger, by Allah, he does not have any of that.' He said, 'We will help him with a basket of dates.' I said, 'And I, O Allah's Messenger, I will help him with another.' He said, 'You have done a righteously good thing.' So go and give away the dates on his behalf and take care of your cousin. I did that. Ahmad 6. 410 Abu Dawud also collected this hadith in the Book of Divorce in his Sunan, Abu Dawud 2. 662, according to which her name is Khala bint Thalaba. She is also known as Khala bint Malik bint Thalaba, and Kuwayla. All these are close to each other, and Allah knows best. This is what is correct about the reason behind revealing this surah. Therefore, Allah's statement, those among you who make their wives unlawful to them by zihar, refers to zihar, which is derived from az-zar, meaning, the back. During the time of Jahiliyyah, when one wanted to declare zihar towards his wife, he would say, to me, you are like the back of my mother. That was one way they issued divorce during that time. Allah allowed this ummah to pay expiation for this statement and did not render it as a divorce, contrary to the case during the time of Jahiliyyah. Allah said, they cannot be their mothers. None can be their mothers except those who gave them birth. Meaning, when the husband says to his wife that she is like his mother, or the back of his mother etc., she does not become his mother. Rather his mother is she who gave birth to him. This is why Allah said, and verily, they utter an ill word and a lie. Meaning, false and sinful speech, and verily, Allah is oft pardoning, oft forgiving. Meaning, what you used to do during the time of Jahiliyyah, and what accidentally slips out of your mouth, unintentionally. Allah's statement, and those who make unlawful to them their wives by zihar and wish to free themselves from what they uttered, Ash-Shafi said, it means to keep her for a while after the zihar, without divorcing her, even though his is able to do so. Ahmad bin Hanbal said, to return to having sexual relations with her or to merely intend to do so, but only after he pays the expiation mentioned in the ayah for his statement. It has been quoted from Malik that it is the intention to have sexual relations or to keep her or actually having sexual intercourse. Said bin Jubair said that this ayah, and wish to free themselves from what they uttered, meaning, if they want to return to having sexual intercourse which was forbidden between them. Al-Hasan al-Basri said that it is to utilize her sexual organ, and he did not see any harm in doing what is less than that before paying the expiation. Ali bin Abi Talha reported from Ibn Abbas, before they touch each other. The touching refers here to sexual intercourse. At Tabari 23, 231, similar was said by Atta, Az-Zuri, Qatada and Muqatil bin Hayyan. Az-Zuri added, he is not to kiss or touch her until he pays the expiation. The Sunan compilers recorded from Ikrimah, from Ibn Abbas that a man said, O Allah's Messenger, I pronounced zihar on my wife, but then had sexual intercourse with her before I paid the expiation. The Messenger, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, May Allah grant you his mercy, what made you do that? He said, I saw the adornment she was wearing shining in the moon's light. The Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, Then do not touch her until you do what Allah the Exalted and Most Honored has ordered you to do. At-Tirmidhi said, Hassan Garib Sahih. Abu Dawud and An-Nasa'i also recorded it. Abu Dawud 2. 666. Allah said, the penalty in that case is the freeing of a slave, indicating the necessity of freeing a slave before they touch each other. This ayah mentions any slave, not only believing servants as in the case of the expiation for unintentional killing, that is an admonition to you, meaning, a warning to threaten you in this case. And Allah is all aware of what you do, meaning, He is all-knower in what brings you benefit. Allah's statement, and he who finds not must fast 2 successive months before they both touch each other. And he who is unable to do so, should feed 60 of the poor. Is explained by the hadiths that prescribe these punishments in this order, just as in the hadith collected in the 2 Sahihs about the man who had sexual intercourse with his wife during the day, in Ramadan. Fath al-Bari 4. 193 Allah said, that is in order that you may have perfect faith in Allah and His Messenger. Meaning, we legislated this punishment so that you acquire this trait, these are the limits set by Allah. Meaning, the things that He has forbidden, so do not transgress them, and for disbelievers, there is a painful torment. Meaning, those who do not believe and do not abide by the rulings of Islamic legislation should never think they will be saved from the torment. Rather theirs will be a painful torment in this life and the hereafter. 5. Verily, those who oppose Allah and His Messenger will be disgraced as those before them were disgraced. And we have sent down clear ayat, and for the disbelievers is a disgraceful torment. 6. On the day when Allah will resurrect them all together and inform them of what they did. Allah has kept account of it, while they have forgotten it. And Allah is witness over all things. 7. Have you not seen that Allah knows whatsoever is in the heavens and whatsoever is on the earth? There is no najwa of 3 but he is their 4th, nor of 5 but he is their 6th, nor of less than that or more but he is with them wheresoever they may be. And afterwards on the day of resurrection he will inform them of what they did. Verily, Allah is the all-knower of everything. Explaining the punishment of the enemies of the religion. Allah states that those who defy him and his messenger and contradict his commandments, will be disgraced as those before them were disgraced, meaning, they will be humiliated, cursed and disgraced, just as what happened to their like were before them, and we have sent down clear ayat. Meaning, none contradicts or opposes them, except a disbeliever, rebellious, sinner, and for the disbelievers is a disgraceful torment, meaning, as just recompense for their arrogant refusal to follow, obey and submit to the religion of Allah. Allah the Exalted said, on the day when Allah will resurrect them all together, referring to the day of resurrection when he will gather the early and the latter generations in one area, and inform them of what they did. He will tell them all that they did in detail, whether good or evil, Allah has kept account of it, while they have forgotten it. Meaning, Allah recorded and kept all these actions, even though they have forgotten what they did, and Allah is witness over all things. Meaning, nothing escapes his knowledge, and no matter is hidden from him or escapes his complete observation. Allah's knowledge encompasses creation, then Allah the Exalted informs of his knowledge encompassing all creation, observing it, hearing their speech and seeing them, wherever they may be and in whatever condition they may be in. Have you not seen that Allah knows whatsoever is in the heavens and whatsoever is on the earth? There is no najwa of 3, i.e., secret consultation of 3, but he is their 4th, nor of 5 but he is their 6th, nor of less than that or more but he is with them wheresoever they may be. Meaning, he is watching them, perfectly hearing their speech, whether uttered in public or secret. His angels record all that they say, even though he has better knowledge of it and hears them perfectly, as Allah said. Know they not that Allah knows their secret ideas, and their najwa, and that Allah is the all-knower of the unseen. 9. 78 Or do they think that we hear not their secrets and their private najwa? And our messengers are by them to record. 43. 80 For this reason, several mentioned that there is a consensus among the scholars that this, with, refers to Allah's knowledge. There is no doubt that this meaning is true, especially if we add to it the certainty that his hearing encompasses all things, as well as his sight. He, the Exalted and Most Honored, is never lacking in knowing all their affairs, and afterwards on the day of resurrection he will inform them of what they did. Verily, Allah is the all-knower of everything. Imam Ahmad commented, Allah began the ayah 58, 7 by mentioning his knowledge and ended it by mentioning his knowledge. 8. Have you not seen those who were forbidden to hold secret councils, and afterwards returned to that which they had been forbidden, and conspired together for sin and wrongdoing and disobedience to the messenger? And when they come to you, they greet you with a greeting wherewith Allah greets you not, and say within themselves, why should Allah punish us not for what we say? Hell will be sufficient for them, they will enter therein. And worst indeed is that destination. 9. O you who believe, when you hold secret counsel, do it not for sin and wrongdoing, and disobedience to the messenger, but do it for al-birr and taqwa, and have taqwa of Allah unto whom you shall be gathered. 10. Secret counsels are only from Shaitan, in order that he may cause grief to the believers. But he cannot harm them in the least, except as Allah permits. And in Allah let the believers put their trust. The evil of the Jews. Ibn Abi Najih reported from Mujahid, have you not seen those who were forbidden to hold secret councils, and afterwards returned to that which they had been forbidden? He said, the Jews. At Tabari 23, 236 similar was said by Muqatil bin Hayyan, who added, the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, had a peace treaty with the Jews. When one of the Prophet's companions would pass by a gathering of Jews, they would speak among themselves in secret, prompting the believer to think that they were plotting to kill or harm him. When the believer saw this, he feared for his safety and changed the route he was taking. The Prophet advised them to abandon their evil secret talks, but they did not listen and kept on holding the najwa. Allah the Exalted sent down this ayah in their case, have you not seen those who were forbidden to hold secret councils, and afterwards returned to that which they had been forbidden? Ad-Dur al-Manthur 8, 80. Allah's statement, and conspired together for sin and wrongdoing and disobedience to the messenger, means, they used to talk to each other, for sin, which involves themselves, and wrongdoing, which affects others. They speak about disobedience and defying of the messenger, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, with persistence in recommending each other to follow their way. And when they come to you, they greet you with a greeting wherewith Allah greets you not. Ibn Abi Hatim recorded that Aisha said, some Jews came to the Prophet and greeted him by saying, As-Sam alayka, O Abul Qasim. So I said to them, Wa alaykum as-Sam, the same death be upon you. The Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, O Aisha, Allah does not like rudeness and foul speech. I said, didn't you hear them say, As-Sam alayka? He said, didn't you hear me answering them back by saying, Wa alaykum and the same upon you? Allah the Exalted then sent down this ayah, and when they come to you, they greet you with a greeting wherewith Allah greets you not. At Tabari 23, 236 the narration collected in the Sahih states that Aisha said, and be upon you the death, disgrace and curse. The Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said to her, Allah accepts our supplication against them, but not theirs against us. Fath al-Bari 10, 466 Ibn Jarir recorded that Anas bin Malik said, a Jew passed by Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, who was sitting with his companions, he greeted them and they greeted him back. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, then said to his companions, do you know what he just said? They said, he said, As-Salam, O Allah's Messenger. The Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, rather he said, Sam alaykum, meaning, may you disgrace your religion. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, then said, bring him back, and when he was brought back, the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, asked him, did you say, Sam alaykum? He said, yes. The Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, then said, when the people of the book greet you, say, Wa alaykum. Meaning, and the same on you too. At Tabari 23, 240 the basis for the hadith of Anas is in the Sahih and similar to this hadith of Aisha is in the Sahih. Allah said, and say within themselves, why should Allah punish us not for what we say? Means, the Jews say these words, changing the meaning of the Islamic greeting, into an abusive statement, and then say, had he been a prophet, Allah would have punished us for what we said. Allah knows what we conceal. Therefore, if Muhammad were a prophet, Allah would have sent his punishment on us sooner, in this life. Allah the Exalted replied, hell will be sufficient for them, hell should be sufficient for them in the hereafter, they will enter therein. And worst indeed is that destination. Ahmad 2, 170 Imam Ahmad recorded that Abdullah bin Amr said that the Jews used to say, Sam alayka, to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. They would say then within themselves, why does Allah not punish us for what we say? This ayah was later revealed, and when they come to you, they greet you with a greeting wherewith Allah greets you not, and say within themselves, why should Allah punish us not for what we say? Hell will be sufficient for them, they will enter therein. And worst indeed is that destination. Its chain of narration is Hassan, but they Al-Bukhari and Muslim did not collect it. Manners of the Najwa, secret counsel. Allah the Exalted teaches his believing servants to avoid the ways of the disbelievers and hypocrites, O you who believe. When you hold secret counsel, do it not for sin and wrongdoing, and disobedience to the messenger, meaning, do not hold evil secret counsels like the ignorant disbelieving people of the scriptures and their allies among the hypocrites, who imitate their ways, but do it for al-birr and taqwa. And have taqwa of Allah unto whom you shall be gathered. And he will then inform you of all your deeds and statements. He has counted and recorded them and will justly hold you accountable for them. Allah the Exalted said, and Najwa are only from the shaitan, in order that he may cause grief to the believers. But he cannot harm them in the least, except as Allah permits. And in Allah let the believers put their trust. Allah states that secret talks, where the believers feel anxious, are only from shaitan, in order that he may cause grief to the believers. Meaning, that those who hold such counsels do so because of the lures of the devil, in order that he may cause grief to the believers. The devil seeks to bother the believers, even though his plots will not harm the believers, except if Allah wills it. Those who are the subject of evil Najwa, should seek refuge in Allah and put his trust in him, for none of it will harm them, Allah willing. The Sunnah also forbids the Najwa so that no Muslim is bothered by it. Imam Ahmad recorded that Abdullah bin Masud said that the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, if you were three, then two of you should not hold a secret counsel in the presence of the third person, because that would cause him to be worried. Ahmad 1, 425, 431. This hadith is collected in the two Sahihs using a chain of narration that contained al-Amash. Fath al-Bari 1158. Abdur Razak narrated that Abdullah bin Umar said that Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, "If you were three, then two of you should not hold a secret council in the presence of the third person, except with his permission, because that would cause him to be worried." Abdur Razak 1126. Muslim collected this hadith. Muslim 4, 1717. 11. O you who believe, when you are told to make room in the assemblies, make room. Allah will give you room. And when you are told to rise up, then rise up. Allah will exalt and digress those of you who believe, and those who have been granted knowledge. And Allah is well acquainted with what you do. Manners for assemblies. Allah teaches His servants good manners and orders them to be kind to each other when they are sitting together, O you who believe. When you are told to make room in the assemblies, make room. Allah will give you room. Indeed, the reward or recompense depends on the type of action. In a hadith, the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, "Whoever builds a masjid for Allah, Allah builds for him a house in paradise." Fath al-Bari 1, 648. In another hadith, the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, "He who relieves a difficulty for a person living in straitened circumstances, then Allah will relieve the difficulties of this life and the hereafter for him. Surely, Allah helps the servant as long as the servant helps his brother." Muslim 4, 2074. There are many similar hadiths. This is why Allah the Exalted said, "Make room. Allah will give you room." Qatada said, this ayah was revealed about gatherings in places where Allah is being remembered. When someone would come to join in assemblies with the Messenger, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, they would hesitate to offer them space so that they would not lose their places. Allah the Exalted commanded them to spread out and make room for each other. At-Tabari 23, 244. Imam Ahmad and Imam Ash-Shafi recorded that Abdullah bin Umar said that the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, "One of you should not remove someone from his place and sit in it, but instead, spread out and make room." Ahmad 2, 126. This hadith is recorded in the two Sahihs. Fath al-Bari 1, 64. Imam Ahmad recorded that Abu Hurairah said that the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, "A man should not remove another man from his place and then sit in it. Rather spread out and make room and Allah will make room for you." Ahmad 2, 523. Imam Ahmad also recorded this hadith with the wording, "A man should not leave his place for another man, but rather spread out and make room, and Allah will make room for you." Ahmad 2, 338. It has been reported that Ibn Abbas, Al-Hasan al-Basri and others said that, when you are told to make room in the assemblies, make room. Allah will give you room. Means to war assemblies, and that, and when you are told to rise up, then rise up, means, get up to fight. At Tabari 23, 244 Qatada said, and when you are told to rise up, then rise up, means, when you are called to any type of good, then respond. The virtues of knowledge and people of knowledge. Allah's statement, Allah will exalt in degrees those of you who believe, and those who have been granted knowledge. And Allah is well acquainted with what you do. Means, do not think that if one of you makes room for his brother, or rises up when he is commanded to do so, that this will diminish his right or honor. Rather, this will increase his virtue and status with Allah, and Allah the Exalted will never make his good deed be lost. To the contrary, He will reward him for it in this life and the hereafter. Surely, he who humbles himself by and before the command of his Lord, then Allah will elevate his status and make him known by his good behavior. The statement of Allah the Exalted, Allah will exalt in degree those of you who believe, and those who have been granted knowledge. And Allah is well acquainted with what you do. Meaning, surely, Allah is aware of those who deserve this reward and those who are not worthy of it. Imam Ahmad recorded that Abu at-Tufail Amir bin Wadila said that Nafi bin Abdul Harith met Umar bin al-Khattab in the area of Usfan. Umar appointed Abu at-Tufail to be the governor of Makkah. Umar asked him, "Whom did you appoint as your deputy for the valley people, that is, Makkah?" Amir said, "I appointed Ibn Abza, one of our freed slaves, as my deputy." Umar said, "You made a freed slave their governor in your absence." He said, "O leader of the faithful, he has memorized Allah's book and has knowledge of regulations of inheritance, along with being a proficient judge." Umar said, "Surely, your prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, has said, 'Verily, Allah elevates some people and degrades others, on account of this book. Ahmad 135. Muslim collected this hadith. Muslim 1. 559. 12. O you who believe, when you want to consult the messenger in private, spend something in charity before your private consultation. That will be better and purer for you. But if you find not the means for it, then verily, Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. 13. Are you afraid of spending in charity before your private consultation with Him? If then you do it not, and Allah has forgiven you, then perform salah and give zakah and obey Allah and His Messenger. And Allah is all aware of what you do. The order to give charity before one speaks to the Prophet in private. Allah commanded His believing servants, when any of them wanted to speak with Allah's Messenger in secret, to give away charity beforehand so that his charity cleanses and purifies him and makes him worthy of having a private counsel with the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. This is why Allah the Exalted said, that will be better and purer for you. Then He said, but if you find not, meaning, if he is unable to do so due to poverty, then verily, Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. He only commanded those who are financially able to give this type of charity. Allah the Exalted said, are you afraid of spending in charity before your private consultation? Meaning, are you afraid that the order to give charity before speaking privately to the Prophet remains in effect forever? If then you do it not, and Allah has forgiven you, then perform salah and give zakah and obey Allah and His Messenger. And Allah is all aware of what you do. Therefore, Allah abrogated the obligation of giving this charity. It was said that none has implemented this command before except its abrogation. Ali bin Abi Talib. Ali bin Abi Talha reported from Ibn Abbas, spend something in charity before your private consultation. The Muslims kept asking Allah's Messenger questions until it became difficult on him. Allah wanted to lighten the burden from His Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. So when He said this, many Muslims were afraid to pay this charity and stopped asking. Afterwards, Allah sent down this ayah, are you afraid of spending in charity before your private consultation? If then you do it not, and Allah has forgiven you, then perform salah and give zakah, thus Allah made things easy and lenient for them. At-Tabari 23, 249. Ikrimah and Al-Hasan al-Basri commented on Allah's statement, spend something in charity before your private consultation. This was abrogated by the next ayah, are you afraid of spending in charity before your private consultation? At-Tabari 23, 250. Said bin Abi Aruba reported from Qatada and Muqatil bin Hayyan, people kept questioning Allah's Messenger until they made things difficult for him. Allah provided a way to stop their behavior by this ayah. One of them would need to speak to Allah's Prophet about a real matter, but could not do so until he gave in charity. This became hard on people and Allah sent down relief from this requirement afterwards, but if you find not, then verily, Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. At-Tabari 23, 248. Ma'mar reported from Qatada that the ayah, when you want to consult the Messenger in private, spend something in charity before your private consultation, was abrogated after being in effect for only 1 hour of a day. At-Tabari 2, 249. Abdur Razak recorded that Mujahid said that Ali said, no one except me implemented this ayah, until it was abrogated, and he was reported to have said that it remained in effect for merely an hour. Abdur Razak 3, 280. Tafseer ibn Kathir, abridged, volume 9, pages 509 to 531. 14. Have you not seen those who take as friends a people upon whom is the wrath of Allah? They are neither of you nor of them, and they swear to a lie while they know. 15. Allah has prepared for them a severe torment. Evil indeed is that which they used to do. 16. They have made their oaths a screen. Thus they hinder others from the path of Allah, so they shall have a humiliating torment. 17. Their children and their wealth will avail them nothing against Allah. They will be the dwellers of the fire to dwell therein forever. 18. On the day when Allah will resurrect them all together, then they will swear to Him as they swear to you. And they think that they have something. Verily, they are liars. 19. The shaitan has overpowered them, so he has made them forget the remembrance of Allah. They are the party of shaitan. Verily, it is the party of shaitan that will be the losers. Chastising the hypocrites. Allah chastises the hypocrites for secretly aiding and supporting the disbelievers even though, in reality, they were neither with the disbelievers nor with the Muslims. Allah the Exalted said in another ayah, they are swaying between this and that, belonging neither to these nor to those. And he whom Allah sends astray, you will not find for him a way. 4. 143 Allah said here, have you not seen those who take as friends a people upon whom is the wrath of Allah? Referring to the Jews with whom the hypocrites were allies in secret. Allah said, they are neither of you nor of them, meaning, that these hypocrites are neither with the believers, nor with their allies the Jews, and they swear to a lie while they know. Meaning, the hypocrites lie when they vow, knowing that they are lying, which is called the vow of Al-Ghamus. We seek refuge with Allah from their ways. When the hypocrites met the believers they said that they believed, and when they went to the messenger, they swore to him by Allah that they were believers. They knew that they were lying in their vow, and they knew that they did not declare their true creed. This is why Allah witnessed here that they lie in their vows and know that they are lying, even though their statement, about the Prophet being Allah's prophet, is true in essence. Allah the Exalted said, Allah has prepared for them a severe torment. Evil indeed is that which they used to do. Meaning, Allah has prepared a painful torment for the hypocrites on account of their evil deeds, their aid and support of the disbelievers and their deceit and betrayal of the believers. The statement of Allah the Exalted, they have made their oaths a screen. Thus they hinder others from the path of Allah, meaning, the hypocrites pretended to be believers and concealed disbelief under the shield of their false oaths. Many were unaware of their true stance and were thus deceived by their oaths. Because of this, some people were hindered from the path of Allah, so they shall have a humiliating torment, meaning, as recompense for belittling the significance of swearing by the mighty name of Allah, while lying and concealing betrayal. Allah the Exalted said, their children and their wealth will avail them nothing against Allah. Meaning, none of their possessions can avert the affliction when it is sent their way, they will be the dwellers of the fire to dwell therein forever. Allah the Exalted said, on the day when Allah will resurrect them all together, referring to the day of resurrection when He will gather them all together and leave none of them out, then they will swear to Him as they swear to you. And they think that they have something. Meaning, they will swear to Allah the Exalted and Most Honored that they were following the guidance and the correct path, just as they used to swear to the believers in this worldly life. Verily, those who live following on a certain path will most likely die while on it. Thus, they will be resurrected upon their path. The hypocrites will think that their vows will help them with Allah, just as they helped with the people, who were obliged to treat them as they pretended to be, Muslim. This is why Allah said, and they think that they have something, meaning, on account of swearing to their Lord, that they used to be believers. Allah rebukes this idea of theirs, verily, they are liars. Stressing that they are lying. Allah then said, the shaitan has overpowered them, so he has made them forget the remembrance of Allah. Meaning, shaitan has taken over their hearts to the point that he made them forget Allah the Exalted and Most Honored. This is what the devil does to those whom he controls. Abu Dawud recorded that Abu ad-Darda said that he heard the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, say, any three in a village or desert among whom the salah is not called for, will have the shaitan control them. Therefore, adhere to the jama'ah, for the wolf eats from the strayed sheep. Zaida added that as Saib said that jama'ah refers to praying in congregation. Abu Dawud 1, 371. Allah the Exalted said, they are the party of shaitan, referring to those who are controlled by the devil and, as a result, forgot the remembrance of Allah. Verily, it is the party of shaitan that will be the losers. 20. Those who oppose Allah and His Messenger, they will be among those most humiliated. 21. Allah has decreed, verily, I and my messengers shall be the victorious. Verily, Allah is all-powerful, almighty. 22. You will not find any people who believe in Allah and the last day, making friendship with those who oppose Allah and His Messenger, even though they were their fathers or their sons or their brothers or their kindred. For such He has written faith in their hearts, and strengthened them with Ra from Himself. And He will admit them to gardens under which rivers flow, to dwell therein forever. Allah is well pleased with them, and they are well pleased with Him. They are the party of Allah. Verily, the party of Allah will be the successful. The opponents of Allah and His Messenger are the losers. Allah and His Messenger, peace and blessings of Allah be upon Him, shall prevail. Allah the Exalted asserts that the rebellious and stubborn disbelievers who defy Him and His Messenger, those who do not embrace the religion and stay away from truth, are in one area, while the guidance is in another area, they will be among those most humiliated. They are among the miserable, the cast out, banished from goodness. They are the humiliated ones in this life and the hereafter. Allah said, Allah has decreed, verily, I and my messengers shall be the victorious. Meaning, He has decreed, written in the first book, and decided in the decree that He has willed, which can never be resisted, changed or prevented, that final victory is for Him, His book, His messengers and the faithful believers, in this life and the hereafter. Surely, the good end is for those who have taqwa. 1149 Verily, we will indeed make victorious our messengers and those who believe in the life of this world and on the day when the witnesses will stand forth, the day when their excuses will be of no profit to the wrongdoers. Theirs will be the curse, and theirs will be the evil abode. 40. 51-52. Allah said here, Allah has decreed, verily, I and my messengers shall be the victorious. Verily, Allah is all-powerful, almighty, meaning, the Almighty, all-powerful has decreed that He shall prevail over His enemies. Indeed, this is the final judgment and a matter ordained, the final triumph and victory are for the believers in this life and the hereafter. The believers do not befriend the disbelievers. Allah the Exalted said, You will not find any people who believe in Allah and the Last Day, making friendship with those who oppose Allah and His Messenger, even though they were their fathers or their sons or their brothers or their kindred. Meaning, do not befriend the deniers, even if they are among the closest relatives. Allah said, Let not the believers take the disbelievers as friends instead of the believers, and whoever does that will never be helped by Allah in any way, except if you indeed fear a danger from them. And Allah warns you against Himself. 328 And, say, if your fathers, your sons, your brothers, your wives, your kindred, the wealth that you have gained, the commerce in which you fear a decline, and the dwellings in which you delight are dearer to you than Allah and His Messenger, and striving hard and fighting in His cause, then wait until Allah brings about His decision, torment. And Allah guides not the people who are the rebellious. 924. Said bin Abdul Aziz and others said that this ayah, You will not find any people who believe in Allah and the Last Day, was revealed in the case of Abu Ubaidah Amir bin Abdullah bin al-Jarrah when he killed his disbelieving father, during the Battle of Badr. This is why when Umar bin al-Khattab placed the matter of Khilafah in the consultation of 6 men after him, he said, If Abu Ubaidah were alive, I would have appointed him the Khalifa. It was also said that the ayah, even though they were their fathers, was revealed in the case of Abu Ubaidah, when he killed his father during the Battle of Badr. While the ayah, or their sons, was revealed in the case of Abu Bakr as Siddiq when he intended to kill his disbelieving son, Abdur Rahman, during Badr, while the ayah, or their brothers, was revealed about the case of Musab bin Umair, who killed his brother, Ubayd bin Umair, during Badr, and that the ayah, or their kindred, was revealed about the case of Umar, who killed one of his relatives during Badr, and also that this ayah was revealed in the case of Hamza, Ali and Ubaidah bin al-Harith. They killed their close relatives Utbah, Shayba and al-Walid bin Utbah that day. Allah knows best. A similar matter is when Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, consulted with his companions about what should be done with the captives of Badr. Abu Bakr as Siddiq thought that they should accept ransom for them so the Muslims could use the money to strengthen themselves. He mentioned the fact that the captured were the cousins and the kindred, and that they might embrace Islam later on, by Allah's help. Umar said, But I have a different opinion, O Allah's Messenger. Let me kill so-and-so, my relative, and let Ali kill Aqil, Ali's brother, and so kill so-and-so. Let us make it known to Allah that we have no mercy in our hearts for the idolaters. Allah said, For such He has written faith in their hearts, and strengthened them with Ra from Himself. Means, those who have the quality of not befriending those who oppose Allah and His Messenger, peace and blessings of Allah be upon Him, even if they are their fathers or brothers, are those whom Allah has decreed faith, meaning, happiness, in their hearts and made faith dear to their hearts and happiness reside therein. As Sudi said that the ayah, He has written faith in their hearts, means, He has placed faith in their hearts. Ibn Abbas said that, and strengthened them with Ra from Himself, means, He gave them strengths. Allah's statement, and He will admit them to gardens under which rivers flow, to dwell therein. Allah is well pleased with them, and they are well pleased with Him, was explained several times before. Allah's statement, Allah is well pleased with them, and they are well pleased with Him, contains a beautiful secret. When the believers became enraged against their relatives and kindred in Allah's cause, He compensated them by being pleased with them and making them pleased with Him from what He has granted them of eternal delight, ultimate victory and encompassing favor. Allah's statement, they are the party of Allah. Verily, the party of Allah will be the successful, indicates that they are the party of Allah, meaning, His servants who are worthy of earning His honor. Allah's statement, verily, the party of Allah will be the successful, asserts their success, happiness and triumph in this life and the hereafter, in contrast to those, who are the party of the devil. Verily, the party of Shaitan will be the losers. This is the end of the Tafsir of Surah Al-Mujadilah. All praise and thanks are due to Allah. Tafsir Ibn Kathir, abridged, Volume 9, pages 532 to 541. Share this. Loading. View full site. Blog at wordpress.com. Privacy and cookies. This site uses cookies. By continuing to use this website, you agree to their use. To find out more, including how to control cookies, see here, Cookie Policy. Design a site like this with WordPress.com. Get started.